All right, so welcome back. As the title says, we've actually been keeping a secret from y'all for a while. Several actually, but we'll for sure go over one in this episode right here. So we just got a delivery, as you've seen in the introduction here. And Tiffany, what is this? Is this a she shed or is this something for you?
It might be a she shed.
Yeah, well, I don't know. So explain what the heck we got going on here, because I have a feeling it's a little more for me than you.
Another barn.
Another barn.
Who needs another barn?
I need another barn. All right, so go ahead and explain what the heck is going on here and why we've been keeping a secret.
If anybody knows kind of where we're located on the property, that would be why we need another barn.
Yeah.
So everybody's ideas are going to go to a million different things right now. So I don't know how detailed you want to be on.
Oh, we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and dive into it. But
okay.
What I want to know is, are you as excited for the barn as I am?
Probably 60%.
I think that's a lie. All right, so yeah, as Tiffany said, we're putting another barn on the property, and believe it or not, we were actually planning this before everything just happened, before the hurricane and trees and stuff on the ground. So how weird it is that things have worked out, from the dump trailer to the big chainsaw to the grapple on the tractor, which a lot of our viewers has donated towards some of this stuff. It's just been such a blessing here with these storms that we've had recently, the hurricanes, all the trees on the ground. So we got to talking a while back. I've always been into firewood and other things like that on the channel. It's how we started the channel out many years ago, and I'm always going to be into it. I just really enjoy it. So I started begging and pleading. Could I get a barn to work in and work under and keep my equipment out of the sun so I could actually split some firewood year round? Well, at least more in the spring and fall. Yeah. This heat of summer is just killing us.
Well, and you had a nice shaded area down there, but with all the trees that keep coming down in that area, it's now becoming an unsafe area to like store a lot of equipment and, you know, the projects that you'll have going on down there and all the wood itself. So,
yeah. So we're going to cover that in this episode. I'm going to show you exactly where this is going. It's going right over here, and believe it or not, Tiffany chose the site, which blew my mind because I didn't figure you'd want it in view of the house, but she's exactly right. I've been planning this for a few months. We knew we were going to purchase the barn. We purchased it a little while back and had it built, just got it shipped in today, and it was supposed to go down there in the wood yard, but we've had so many trees fall and drop down there, it scared us to death. And Tiffany was like, I think you're messing up putting it down there. You need to put it up here to where it's a lot safer. You don't have the big trees, and we can kind of handle, well, trees in the future, cut down and clear the area out. Down there we got 100-footers and gigantic things that would just split this barn in half.
Plus, you need the room to be able to maneuver in and out of the building, and that just doesn't give you that down there too.
You're exactly right. But
I was trying
to do that because happy wife, happy life. I didn't figure you want the barn inside of the house, and it's still going to be kind of hard to see.
Another barn in sight.
Yeah, so yes, our third barn. Now here's the cool thing. It's not just for firewood. I got other plans as well. So I'm gonna let Tiffany head back to the house because it is burning up hot. I don't think she's as excited about all this as me, although she does have plans. You do have plans to help me work underneath this barn. Yeah. And we're gonna explain that this is just kind of another step forward for us for some side income, a side hustle, as we try to make this crazy social media life thing work for us. It takes so many revenue streams. I've got big plans for this barn right here. And speaking of, we actually got a pretty big announcement, another one as well, that I think we're going to save for our podcast channel. Because it's going to require some conversations of why we've just made another really big decision in our life. Right. I think it's worth having a long conversation over, not just blowing this video up with it right there. So if you're not on our podcast channel, I'll put a link down in the description. It's the Kelly's Off Script, and we're going to try to get that video out here in just the next few days and have another really big announcement there. I think that'll be the proper place to put it. All right. Yeah. So I'll let you head back to the house, get an AC.
All right.
Let me explain what we got going on right here. So if y'all have never seen one of these before, this is an ag barn kit. And actually this is the same type of kit that we ordered in to build our barndominium house and this big 42 by 80 pole barn that I have over here. And this is the third kit that I have bought from the same company. And they are backwoods buildings. They have been really, really good to me. Every kit has always shown up the way it's supposed to with all the hardware. I haven't had to go all the way back and get anything. Their prices are excellent, so it justified buying yet a third kit from these guys. I'll put a link down in the description if you want to check them out. Really, really good people. I've had good conversations with them. Like I said, everything just shows up on time as it should. I've been very, very pleased. So if you're not familiar with ag barn kits, it's mainly all about the truss right here. You can see these are welded up angle iron trusses. They're all engineered, and you can get them in all different thicknesses. That's the cool thing about this company right here. For example, the house, I engineered much thicker trusses, tighter pole spacing, because I told the guys at this company, I'm building a house out of one of your kits and I want it to be way stronger than your typical ag barn kit. And they have an engineer on site that can work with you doing all that. I also did something very special. I worked with these guys to see this really long bottom truss right here. I've never done this before in one of my buildings, and it's to house something really unique that I think is going to be coming up in the future. All right, so let's go ahead and spill the beans. This right here is going to house my firewood processing area, so to speak. This is going to be my new wood yard shelter. It's a 30 by 48 pole barn with 18-inch overhangs. I've got it on 6x6 treated post right here, and you can see this is the really good treated post. That's the other thing I like about this company. I can get the really, really heavy treated post, not the old cheap stuff that you see at Lowe's and Home Depot that rots out. It's got like a 25 or 30-year warranty on these things. I'm doing 12-foot spacing so I can get some logs in between, but the really cool thing is this long truss that I just showed you. I worked with them, told them, can we remove a post from the building? So it's not every on 12, I can get a 24-foot opening now, because I do have plans in the future. Y'all have asked for it that I should really have a sawmill on the channel. Well, we've set the barn up to house a sawmill. So now that I'm gonna have a 24-foot opening on the side, I can put the sawmill anywhere I want. I really tried to think ahead on this. Not only will I have big 30-foot gable end openings, but I wanna leave those open so I can pull through, say with a dump trailer or anything else. Now I've got a 24-foot opening on the side of the barn that I can bring 16, 18-foot logs in and potentially put on a sawmill. So designing that, it didn't cost much more to do it, and getting it engineered for it now gives me a full opening and a third position for sawmill. So we're going to try to make that happen here in the future. Ultimately, what this is all about is getting my equipment out of the weather and me out of the sun, because I am wanting to split more year round, and it's so hard to do when it's 100 degrees down here, especially baking in the sun. This is going to give me shade. The other really cool thing about this is I plan on putting lights underneath, fans, and I'm going to run this all off of solar. Solar's been huge on the channel. I've been thinking about the way I want to do it. This is so far away from the house and buildings, I can't run power down to here. So we're going to solar power everything and really set it up nice and neat underneath. So these barns also come with 2x6 purlins for support of the tin. The kits come with a ridge cap, pressure treat fascia boards for the outside. All the hardware I've done put in the building, you know, the bolts, the screws for the tin, everything. And I always upgrade my tin to a 26 gauge. Your standard kit comes with 29. I went ahead and did 26 gauge on the house and 26 gauge on that big barn there. I think it's really worth it, especially with the hailstorms that we've started getting recently. I want a thicker, stronger tin. All right, so if y'all take a look, the house is over there. You look through the woods and the barn is gonna go in this area. And believe it or not, Tiffany decided that it should go in this area, and I think she's exactly right. So what y'all can't see, there's a pretty prominent hill right here that drops way back down toward my wood yard and wood rack area down there. I did not want to put the barn any further down because I'll have to build such a huge dirt pad to make it nice and level, and I don't want the barn arched over a hill. I want a flat pad underneath my barn for setting up equipment, potential sawmill, things such as that. So we're at the peak of the hill right here. It's a little closer to the house than I would like, but you actually have to look through the trees from the porch to see this. Plus we already see other barns anyways, and this is going to require the least amount of work, dirt hauled in, and pad preparation right here. So what we're about to do in this episode, I'm gonna go ahead and mark out where this barn's gonna go right here, and then I've got to, over the next week, get several dump truck loads of dirt hauled in. We're gonna get it all leveled out and packed, and in 2 weeks, I'm gonna actually have a contractor come here and put the barn up. And I know some of y'all are thinking, why am I not building the barn? I tend to build everything on the channel. Putting this up by myself, this is not a one-man job. With long sheets of tin, working up high, and with all the other projects I have going on, it just made more sense to hire this out. Plus, I want to go ahead and get equipment and everything else underneath, and y'all have seen all the logs I've been hauling in. I need to get to splitting firewood ASAP. I don't need to take any further time away from other projects and from our firewood to build this. So we're gonna get up real quick with a crew. So we're gonna do the 30-foot direction this way, 48 long this way. That'll allow me to drive in each in and out on the 30-foot gables. And on this far end down here is where we're gonna do the 24-foot wide opening with that special truss or header that I had built right there. That way I can go down with the tractor to where I'm staging all my wood, pluck it, bring it right into a sawmill, bring it right into my log splitter. It should just work out really, really well. And I know you're probably thinking, well, you're building right by these trees. These are so small, I'm not concerned about them blowing on the building. And in the future, we may take a row of pines out right here if I feel there's any concern of anything getting on the building, but that'll be years down the road before we have to worry about that. So let's get this thing marked out and let me show you where it's going. All right, so we are laid out all four corners, and you always pull diagonally from corner to corner to get a measurement to square everything up. I was a foot off, so I did 6 inches over down here, 6 inches down there, and that squared everything up perfectly. I'm trying to hug the trees as much as I can without really getting into them, because I know that's going to potentially be a problem down the road, and I'm already going to have to prune some limbs. But I don't want to come too terribly far out here, because I want to leave me plenty of swing around room right here so I can back a trailer into any of this. But now you can see the flag down here, flag right here. This is the area where I'm going to put that 24-foot header right here and potentially a sawmill. And then these big 30-foot open ends right here, well, I can potentially just pull all the way through on the backside, for example. I'd like to leave room to do that with a dump trailer and pull a truck or a tractor through. Now what I eventually may do is drop these trees, cut them, push them back in the woods, and do away with them. I hate to do that. I like the shade and everything else it'll give the barn, but I am gonna have to take a few of these limbs off, and I wanted to leave enough room behind the building that I could mow, and also I have plans to maybe build a little room back here, for example, for storage, chainsaw oil, gas, anything else I need, and solar equipment to power up the shop. Obviously solar panels will probably have to go on that side of the property, so I'll have to trench over there. But guys, if you're newly married or in trouble with your wife, let me give you a piece of advice. It's taken me a long time with my wife to learn this. I've got this set up where I think it'd be great. So who cares, right? We've got to live with this permanently for life. The smart thing to do is to call my wife out here right now and say, honey, do you like where this is at? Is it going to bother you from the house? Look at everything before I start hauling in dirt and really getting this set up. And she goes, I don't want to look at that for the rest of my life. I don't like that. Trust me, now's the time to do it. Let me get her out here. It's a good thing I called her down here. She wants it moved that way. See, this just avoided a lot of problems down the road. Y'all didn't know y'all was getting marital advice in this video, did you? Let me move all the stakes. All right, so it's been a couple of days since I've started this video, and I cannot get a hold of my dirt guy, I guess we'll call him. I don't know if he's on vacation or what's going on, so I have not been able to get loads of dirt hauled in. And this is more than I want to go dig out of the little bit of storage and hill that I have here. You're talking 4 dump truck loads I was going to get hauled in. So it's going to be a couple weeks before this building goes up. I want your opinion on, I got to thinking, it may be a good thing that I don't get the dirt. I probably should let the installer put the pole barn up first and then go back in and do my dirt pad. Then I could pull a string line off the post and mark them for level. I think it'd be a lot easier. Yes, the posts are in the way, but he also mentioned if I go ahead and have my dirt pad down, which he was fine with, I got to keep in mind they're going to be drilling holes through it, driving equipment on it, and I'm going to have to go back in there and touch everything up anyways. So it might make more sense to go ahead and put the barn up, then go back in and lay all my dirt, and then I'll just have to kind of hand pack around the post itself. But if my dirt guy calls back, I may get him to go ahead and bring the dirt. I'd like to hear y'all's opinions. But right now I'm dead in the water, waiting on either the contractor or my dirt to show up. Lastly, y'all, I want to give a huge shout out to Backwood Buildings. They're over in Chipley, Florida, but they can deliver anywhere. I'm hours from them, and I always get stuff either brought on a gooseneck or like that gigantic barn, it came on a semi-flatbed. But if you're looking to get a post frame building built of any kind, whether it's a barndominium or just a standard pole barn, or you want to engineer it and make it stronger, these guys can do everything. Like I said, they got an engineer in-house. They'll build you whatever you want, from headers, and you can skip post. They can give you a different length and different type treated post, different thickness metals. They can cover anything you want and adjust it to your needs. I'm going to put their link down in the description. They have been so appreciative and have thanked me and have emailed me because I've sent a lot of business their way over the years, especially from the barndominium build. And that's why I bought my 3rd kit from them. They have just treated me well. They've got the best prices I could find of all the kits that I've been looking for. Their engineers are great to work with. They can cater the building to your needs. So I'm going to put their information down in the description, their Facebook and their website. If you need a barn kit anywhere for any reason, give them a call. You might be surprised. All right, y'all, I'm really excited about this building. This is huge for the channel. It really is. We're going to produce a lot of content underneath here. We're going to get some new and fun equipment, and this is just going to be another side hustle and income for us. So I'll catch y'all back whenever we are installing this building, and I'll record that process as well, and we'll show you how it goes up.